as you know, unfortunately, at the conclusion of the Congress, what you need to listen to is me. I mean, you could have had another very nice video from Zach Polanski, but in the end, you have my closing remarks. So I'm sorry about that. Also because you know that in this Congress, we have heard a lot of passionate words, passionate speakers, passionating also, very strong figures speaking. The Congress is always a place that it's meant to find also inspiration, learn from each other, enjoying the atmosphere of being at home with colleagues and friends from all corners of Europe. And it is also a moment to project our unity and strength to the outside world. And we have done this and together with Livre and together with all of our partners, which I will, of course, thank at the end of this speech. But however, when it comes to my speeches, you also know that normally they are not exactly meant to send you home with uplifting campaign slogans or very strong, let's say, narratives that you can bring home and so on, but they're more here to wrap things up and to maybe have a moment to reflect. So unfortunately for you, this is the case also this time. The only good thing is that I was so busy that I had very, very little time to prepare this speech. So it's much shorter than normal. So you can all really get to food very, very early. And I'm also very tired, so I think we will close this chapter early enough. Basically today, I've decided, and I'm very happy that Kieran just mentioned this now in his intervention, I've decided that I wanted to start this speech, and actually I wanted to also keep this on the screen for the whole duration of my speech, with some of the sentences that I read in the US National Security Strategy, because I think that some of these sentences that are related to Europe are going to be something that I would like us to let sink in, and that I would like you to bring home as what could be, let's say, something that we really need to think about strongly in the next weeks, and that needs to really be at the core and at the forefront of what we are doing as European Green Party and as Green parties. So while you read it, I drink some water. Unfortunately, you will have time to read it also later in its entirety, and you will see that it is as shocking and as bad and as dramatic as these sentences that I just cut here. So this is a real declaration of war to the very foundations of the European Union. When I read that document, at one point I was thinking, maybe this is just the normal Trump delirium. I think that we always have this first reaction of denial, no? When we hear something that the Trump administration is saying, or we tend to consider them crazy and so on, but we know they are not. So what it's written there, it's not crazy, it's blunt, it's strategic, it's targeting what we have built. And especially, and we know that because we have seen them operating in the last months, is targeting the Green Deal and all the digital regulations that they dare to adopt. And I think we need to acknowledge this. We see this every day in the European Parliament. And this aligns perfectly also with Putin's imperialist goals, not by chance. Russia welcomed warmly, especially the language of appeasement towards Russia and the intentions of the US on Ukraine and everything that it's written there on Ukraine. And by the way, I would really like to take a second of your time, because I think we missed this a little bit in this Congress, to say once again from the bottom of our hearts, Slava Ukraini, because I think this is really something that Mamma mia, I read this too much. I'm sorry. So, I mean, it's that what do they want? And we know is that they want to destroy the European Union and everything it represents. They are already doing this very effectively through their proxies that are sitting in national and also the European Parliament, destroying regulations first and then bit by bit our democratic systems and institutions. So their design is clear. The threat is real, and they don't even pretend to hide, for example, anymore the money that they are flooding fascist and Nazis parties here in Europe when they say cultivating resistance to Europe's current trajectories within European nations. So, my friends, I think that the only thing we can do is to respond. Europe must respond, as we've always done in moments of crisis, by becoming stronger. So I have absolutely no doubt on how to respond. The answer resides in what Altiero Spinelli wrote in regards to the Ventottene Manifesto, and I want to take advantage to also remember Altiero Spinelli, one of the founding fathers of the European Union, whose anniversary of that will be next year, his 30-year anniversary. So what Altiero Spinelli said is the European Federation does not present itself as an ideology. It does not seek to color existing power in this or that way. It is a sober proposal to create a democratic European power. Democratic European power. It's crazy how 80 years later, these words from so many years ago resonates as the best antidote to the unapologetic celebrations of European nations' individual character and history. This is what we need to strive for. We need to strive for power today. And that's what the European Union needs to do. We know that with the current majorities and governments, this is almost impossible. I mean, we cannot deny this to ourselves. But the wind can change, and as Greens, we need to stand ready for this. We need to have leadership in this. Because the alternative is fragmentation, weakness, and being pushed away by bigger powers. So we must build a Europe that goes from Lisbon to Tbilisi, as Sofro from the Movement of Social Democracy said yesterday in one of our panels, and that passes by London, Oslo, Belgrade, Chisinau, and obviously Kyiv. We need all the reforms that are needed, and I know none of what I'm saying here is sexy and is appealing as some of what you've heard in these days, but we need the reforms to make this union real. We need to stop the unanimity in the council, and I was really glad to hear Thomas Tomilinas yesterday speaking about this. It's not in the room, but I will block him on this afterwards, because I think we need to have people that are really fighting as Greens for the reforms that we need. And we need to stop having veto power on foreign policy, obviously, but also continue and advance. And for this, I salute also the resolutions that we adopted on preparedness, our plans to defend Europe better. I mean, it's inevitable. And I say this as somebody who has got politicized as a pacifist against the war in Iraq. There is nothing that we can do today if not prepare for what could come at our borders from Lisbon to Tbilisi, as I said, and to Kyiv. Also, not the sexiest of topics, but we need, as Greens, to get very serious about the economy. And we must confront this without fear. Europe still has too many internal barriers, too little industrial strategy, and not enough resilience. We must finish build the single market, the real one, and our single market that is strong against the global shocks. And so we don't have to fear also to speak about which model of competitiveness as Greens we are striving for, because otherwise we stay out of the conversation. Of course, we need a fiscal union, And we need a fiscal union also to root the transformation that we want in the economy in social and global justice. We must fight against inequalities in all forms. We heard a lot about it, and I was very, very happy in this Congress that so much was said about this. But in my opinion, we need a new green and social pact, which is not anchored in the old solution of the 20th century. And this is why I really believe that as Greens, we can champion this, because we never just look at the easy solution of trying to defend what we have, but we look, as Rui was also saying yesterday, at creative solutions, and we look at solutions that can be imaginative but can also be implemented, like the 4 days work week that Rui was mentioning. And we need to look at a paradigm that takes in considerations all the transformations we are going through in order to build this new economic model that is rooted in social justice. And of course, lastly, climate and global justice. I also wanted to spend in this speech a few words for something that we didn't at all touched upon in this Congress, which are the floods in Southeast Asia, which have been really a stark reminder of what the climate crisis is facing us with, and all the lives that were lost there. We should really not forget to also have a thought for this, and also anchor our reflection in what is going on. Because the last time we exchanged with Mayor Carascioni, he said something that stuck with me, and he said, the Greens is not synonym of post-materialism. On the contrary, we are the most materialist movement. We fight for the material conditions that allow humans to live. So I think also this this change of paradigm is something that can help us reframing somehow also how we self-perceive ourselves. Now, I know, I'm a Secretary General, so all of these, I know it's fantastic words. I mean, not so fantastic because I'm very tired, as I told you, but what you also want and what we must do, the only way to achieve just even bits and pieces of what we want to do is to win elections. There is nothing else. We need to win elections, and we need to regain power, no? We need to regain power, maintain power where we have it, and also win new places of power. As also Rui was saying, Rui inspired me a lot. These days, we are not only here to do, as we say in Italian, politica di testimonianza, no? Just to testify that we exist, but we really are here to create change and to affect change. So this brings me to something that is dear to my heart, as I said in my presentations, but since there were many less people, I will repeat it again. The EGP in 2026, already we started in 25, we'll have a focus also on campaign readiness and communication and strategic tools and strategic exchanges among our member parties, because we feel that this is something that our parties are demanding us, and so we believe it's important to facilitate to the extent that we can this campaign readiness throughout our mandate and not just during the European elections. We are in an era of resistance, and resistance requires organization. The more the storm rises, the more we must strengthen our movement. These are really my words as a Secretary General, because in these times, even if the wind is really blowing against us, or actually because the wind is blowing against us, we really need to work on our structures. We really need to work on our internal capacity. We really need to work on the mobilization of each and every single of our members. We really need to work on every and single opportunity to get new resources. Let's not be afraid ever of money. Let's always strive for more. And this is why we'll give the floor to FYG afterwards as well, to remind you to give them some money in order to stay the most powerful youth organization. in Brussels. And, no, sorry, I meant the most at European level, not in Brussels. Sorry, FYJ. Always here in the first row to comment on everything I say. Anyway, I lost my thread of thoughts. What I wanted to say in general is that we need to work on structures, campaign, communications, while at the same time work for a federal Europe. Okay, so this is... If I had to summarize in a word. So now maybe we can take this off while I do all my acknowledgement and thank you, because you had the time to read it. I will send it to you. You can find the link online, unfortunately. I want to start by thanking first and foremost our partners in this in the organization of this Congress from Livre. They did a job that was amazing. I really want to say a huge thank you. Isabel, thank you very much. Rui, but also everyone in the team. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, and of course also Os Verdes and PAN, who have contributed very much to this Congress as well. We just voted on a resolution from Os Verdes, so. So afterwards, I would like, of course, to warmly welcome once again Vesna in the family. In my opinion, they already went out to celebrate with wine and champagne, but in any case, we can give them an applause nonetheless. Also, of course, as I said earlier, our new committee member, Thomas Tomilinas, and all the new elected members to all of our bodies. A big congratulations to all of you. And obviously, thank you to everyone who ran in these elections, because of course, these democratic processes will be empty without all of you, and they will not be what they are. So thank you very much. I really am moved by the fact that so many of you want to run for EGP bodies, and every year we see more and more candidacy. So thank you very much. Keep on being this motivated, because this organization needs your involvement. So thanks. And of course, thanks to my committee that has been, first of all, is the biggest committee we've ever had. So, I mean, just for this, I would say we can give them a round of applause. As Trump would say, the biggest committee the EGP has ever had. Their political guidance, especially our co-chairs, our treasurer, but in general, the political guidance of this committee, that is very much united in diversity, you know, because now we are more, we come from more countries, and we also represent different realities, but in the end, we are all working united to lead this family. It's of a great added value, so I really want to salute their work and thank them also for the trust that they put in me and in the team to organize and to lead the works of this organization. Also, a special word to the Amendments Committee, who has been more engaged than ever in this year due to the reform of the trial, to the trial of the decision making. So they really did an excellent job, and I think the proceedings of this Congress show that we went in the right direction. So thank you very much to all of you. And of course, you can clap, you can clap. And of course, all of you, the delegates, because once again, your commitment led us to approve 6 very meaningful resolutions. I want to salute them all, because I believe the quality and also the urgency of these resolutions at this moment, when I think about the one of digital policy, but also every infrastructure, European autonomy, preparedness, Sudan, which one I forgot? Femicides. I didn't say anything feminist in my speech today, but I wrote a pin to testify of my commitment. So all of these excellent resolutions really, and all the work that you spent, including online, are really the témoignage, they testify how committed you are, so thank you all. And of course, lastly, not lastly, I still have a very long list, all of our partners, FYG, the group, the EGP, the Greens in the Committee of the Region, they all contributed, I would say, more than ever to this Congress. Also, the fact that we do a Congress once a year for me, and the fact that we were 600 here with so much involvement from our organizing partner, all the partners, shows that it was really a good choice also to go to one Congress per year, because it allows us to canalize all the energy to the Greens family in one occasion. And I want to say really thank you to all the partners who work with us in this Congress, because it was a very meaningful cooperation. So please also give a big round of applause to the partners, because they did a lot for this Congress. They really did work a lot, and they did show how much they care. Also the numbers, I think from the group, we never had such a big delegation, so it was really, really strong. And then, as usual, you know that, of course, not to mention all the participants, speakers, I mean, you know that I want to thank all of you. But as usual, the biggest round of applause goes, and my biggest recognition and my biggest pride in this Congress is the European Greens team, who has showed a level of professionalism, as always. I can tell you, in very difficult conditions, because this was a Congress which had many levels of complexity, but also in the last years we met several situations that didn't make it easy, and also we are now a smaller organization than what we were before. So let's never forget that behind every single act, every single thing that we are doing, there is somebody who is working very, very hard, and this is my words to deserve them, or to give them all my gratitude, but also all my respect, because I think that what they do is incredible, and I think that they deserve all this Congress to acknowledge this the most warmly that you can. So please, really,